YouTubers will do anything for clicks. Pranks, stunts, even straight up crimes. And sometimes, it doesn't just cost them their channel, it lands them in handcuffs. From fake robberies to dangerous stunts, these are the wildest times YouTubers got arrested. Starting with Jake Paul. In 2020, during the George Floyd protests, Jake was spotted inside a mall in Scottsdale, Arizona. At first, people thought he was just filming for a documentary, but police saw it differently. He was charged with criminal trespassing and unlawful assembly. Things escalated so badly that the FBI later raided his mansion. Although the charges were eventually dropped, the footage of Jake inside that mall is still one of the most controversial moments of his career. Number 2. Ross Creations. In 2013, prank YouTuber Ross Creations thought it would be funny to flip over a cop who was just sitting at a picnic table. The move looked insane, but the officers didn't laugh. They warned him once, then noticed he was filming, and that's when things got ugly. A brawl broke out, Ross was arrested, and he ended up facing misdemeanor charges. Even though the charges were dropped later, that stunt proved one thing: messing with cops for clout is never a good idea. Number 3. The Stokes Twins. Back in 2019, the Stokes twins decided to pull off a prank that went way too far. They dressed up in ski masks, grabbed duffel bags, and staged a fake bank robbery. To make it worse, they even dragged an Uber driver into it, and police actually pulled guns on him thinking he was their getaway driver. The twins were arrested twice in one day for the same prank, facing felony charges of false imprisonment and reporting false emergencies. In the end, they dodged jail time but were sentenced to community service. Definitely not their funniest video. Number 4. Count Dankula. In 2016, Scottish YouTuber Count Dankula thought it would be funny to teach his girlfriend's pug to do a Nazi salute. He filmed the dog reacting to offensive phrases and uploaded it online, calling it just a prank. But the internet didn't see it that way, and neither did the courts. He was arrested for being grossly offensive and dragged into a massive free speech debate. In the end, Dankula refused to pay the £800 fine, choosing instead to donate the same amount to charity. But his arrest went down as one of the most infamous cases in YouTube history. Number 5. Mona Lisa Perez. In 2017, YouTuber Mona Lisa Perez and her boyfriend Pedro Ruiz filmed a stunt that turned deadly. The idea was simple: test if a bullet could pass through an encyclopedia. Pedro held the book against his chest while Mona Lisa pulled the trigger. But the bullet went straight through, killing him instantly. The footage was later used in court as evidence, and Mona Lisa was arrested for manslaughter. She served 6 months in jail, and the tragedy became one of the darkest moments in YouTube's history. Number 6. Logan Paul. Before the scandals, before the boxing, Logan Paul actually got arrested in Rome for flying a drone over the Colosseum. At the time, drone footage there was completely illegal, but Logan wanted the perfect cinematic shot. The police weren't impressed. He was detained, fined, and bailed out the same day. Compared to some of his later controversies, this arrest feels minor, but it proved Logan was always willing to break the rules for content. Number 7. Trevor Jacob. YouTuber Trevor Jacob pulled off one of the craziest stunts ever, and it landed him in serious trouble. In 2021, he uploaded a video where he pretended his plane had engine failure. He jumped out with a parachute, filming himself as the aircraft crashed into the wilderness. The problem? Investigators proved the whole thing was staged for views. Crashing an aircraft on purpose is a federal crime, and Trevor was arrested, later pleading guilty to obstructing a federal investigation. That stunt didn't just cost him his plane, it nearly cost him his freedom. Number 8. Sam Pepper. Sam Pepper has been controversial since day one, but this time he actually got arrested. At VidCon, Sam and fellow streamer Ice Poseidon tried sneaking in even though they were banned. Their genius plan? Hide inside a giant llama piñata like a Trojan horse. Security wasn't fooled. Cops pulled them out on the spot and cuffed them for trespassing. Honestly, one of the most embarrassing arrests in YouTube history. Imagine explaining to police you got busted inside a llama. Number Number 9. Omi in a Hellcat. Omi in a Hellcat wasn't just flexing cars and mansions, he was running an illegal empire. Behind the scenes, he made millions pirating cable TV and selling access to his own streaming service. The FBI eventually raided his home, seizing cars, jewelry, and cash. Omi was arrested and hit with charges for fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering. For years, he showed off the lifestyle on YouTube, but in the end, it was built on stolen streams. Number 10. Vitaly. Vitaly is known for pulling wild stunts, but in 2019, he took it way too far. He climbed the Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the most protected monuments in the world. He claimed it was to raise awareness for the Australian wildfires, but Egyptian authorities didn't care. Scaling the pyramid is strictly illegal, and Vitaly was arrested and jailed for 5 days. He later called it the worst experience of his life. All that for just over 1 million views. Number 11. Ice Poseidon. Ice Poseidon has had his fair share of drama, but this one got him locked up overseas. While streaming in Thailand, he gave his girlfriend a lap dance inside a restaurant during a subathon. Management wasn't impressed. They called the police, confiscated his passport, and had him arrested for public indecency. In the end, he walked free, but it was another entry in Ice Poseidon's long list of controversies. Imagine going to jail for turning your live stream into a strip show. Number 12. Hayes Greer. Former Vine star turned YouTuber Hayes Greer went from Dancing with the Stars to facing felony charges. In 2021, he was arrested in North Carolina after allegedly assaulting someone and stealing their phone. The victim was seriously injured, with reports even claiming possible brain damage. Hayes was hit with 3 felony charges, including robbery and causing serious bodily harm. While some charges were dropped, the incident crushed his clean reputation, and he pretty much vanished from YouTube after that. Number 13. Fake medical emergency. In 2021, influencer Prince Z pulled one of the dumbest pranks ever. He pretended to pass out behind the wheel while driving through Times Square, all just for views. Cops smashed his window, dragged him out, and even called a fire truck thinking it was a real emergency. When they found out it was a hoax, he was arrested and charged for wasting emergency resources. Imagine risking jail just to fake a blackout in traffic. Definitely not worth the clout. Number 14. Nelk. The Nelk boys are no strangers to trouble, but one of their pranks got them straight up arrested. They dressed up as Target employees, slapped on fake name tags, and started messing with staff and customers inside the store. At first, it looked like harmless trolling, until police showed up. The prank ended with the crew running to their van, but they weren't fast enough. Nelk was cuffed and charged with trespassing. Just another reminder that not every prank is worth the mugshot. Number 15. Gas King. The YouTuber known as Gas King went from posting car compilations to scamming vulnerable people. He set up a fake investment site promising retirees that their pensions would go to charity and clean energy, but instead he pocketed the cash. In total, he stole nearly £1 million from over 15 victims. When the scam was exposed, Gas King was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison. His channel was deleted shortly after. From fast cars to fraud, that fall off was brutal. Number 16. Jack Galinsky. Back in 2016, YouTuber and former Vine star Jack Galinsky got himself arrested for something surprisingly simple: shoplifting. He claimed he accidentally walked out of a store without paying for an item. When he realized, he tried to pay, but security had already been called. The whole incident was caught on Snapchat by his friend Jack Johnson, and what started as a funny mistake quickly turned serious. Galinsky was arrested, released on bail, and had to show up in court. Even accidental theft can land you in handcuffs. Number 17. Pokemon Go arrest. Back in 2016, Russian YouTuber Ruslan Sokolovsky thought it would be funny to play Pokemon Go inside a church. He filmed himself walking in, sitting down, and casually catching Pokemon during a service. But in Russia, that wasn't just rude, it was illegal. Authorities arrested him for offending religious believers and inciting hatred. He was later handed landed a suspended prison sentence. All that just for catching a virtual pollywag in church. Number 18. Andre Push. Urban explorer Andre Push built his channel by sneaking into abandoned buildings. But in Russia, he took it too far. Between 2018 and 2020, he leaked state construction plans he found inside restricted facilities and even shared them with people in Ukraine. Authorities called it spreading state secrets. Push was arrested, convicted, and sentenced to 5 years in prison. What started as exploring empty buildings ended with him branded a spy. Number 19. Daniel Silva. Tattoo artist and YouTuber Daniel Silva made headlines in 2020, but not for his ink. After celebrating his 25th birthday, Silva got behind the wheel while intoxicated, driving his friend and fellow creator Corey LeBerry. He lost control, crashed, and tried to flee the scene. Corey didn't survive. Silva was arrested and charged with manslaughter. In the end, he avoided a long prison sentence, getting probation and community service instead. But to fans, it felt like he walked away too easily from a tragedy that should never have happened. Number 20. Matthew Cordle. In 2013, YouTuber Matthew Cordle uploaded one of the most shocking confessions ever seen online. In a video titled "I Killed a Man," he admitted to drunk driving, crossing into oncoming traffic, and taking an innocent man's life. The clip went viral instantly, not just because of the crime, but because he filmed his own confession before even being charged. Cordle was arrested and sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. It wasn't just a YouTube video, it was evidence that put him behind bars. Number 21. Connor Murphy and Brandon Carter. Fitness YouTubers Connor Murphy and Brandon Carter staged a fake street fight in Austin, Texas. They ripped their shirts off, started shoving each other, and drew a huge crowd, all while filming. But police didn't find it funny. They stormed in, cuffed both of them, and hauled them off for disturbing the peace. Even after Connor tried explaining it was just a prank, the cops weren't buying it. What was meant to be a viral skit ended with both guys spending a night in jail. Number 22. Dolly Flesh. This one is easily one of the darkest cases on YouTube. A creator known as Dolly Flesh bought hamsters from a pet store and then filmed himself killing them in cruel, sadistic ways. The video horrified the internet, and police quickly tracked him down. He was arrested and faced animal cruelty charges. Many viewers believe he deserved far harsher punishment, with some calling for life behind bars. Out of all the arrests on this list, Dolly Flesh's stands out as one of the most disturbing. Number 23. White Boy 7th Street Gamer. White Boy 7th Street was one of the unlucky victims of swatting, but unlike most, he actually got arrested. While live streaming, someone called in a fake threat to his address, claiming he had weapons and explosives. Police stormed his house mid-stream, pulled him out, and arrested him on the spot. Even though he hadn't done anything, he was cuffed, booked, and dragged into the chaos. It showed just how dangerous swatting can be. One prank call and you can end up in jail for no reason. Number 24. Tanner Cook. Tanner Cook prank. YouTuber Tanner Cook learned the hard way that not everyone wants to be in a video. In 2023, he walked up to a stranger in a Virginia mall using a fake translator app to annoy him. But the guy wasn't laughing. He pulled out a gun and shot Tanner in the stomach. Tanner survived and the shooter was arrested. But here's the wild part. Instead of quitting, Tanner made a video titled "I Got Shot," and it became one of his most viewed uploads ever. Only on YouTube does nearly dying boost your channel. Number 25. J-Station. J-Station was already infamous for his 3 a.m. challenges, but in 2020 he crossed the line. He faked his girlfriend Alexia's death, claiming she'd been hit by a drunk driver, and milked the story for views, even going to a crash site and trying to contact her ghost. The truth came out. Alexia was alive, and she accused him of abuse. J-Station was arrested and charged with assault and assault with a weapon. It turned his channel into one of the most hated on YouTube, and his career never recovered. Number 26. Reset. Spanish YouTuber Reset pulled one of the most disgusting pranks ever. He handed a homeless man Oreos that he had filled with toothpaste instead of cream. The man got sick and threw up, while Reset laughed and gave him just 20 euros for the trouble. The video sparked outrage, and 2 years later, Reset was arrested. He was banned from YouTube, sentenced to 15 months in prison, and ordered to pay the victim 20,000 euros. What he thought would be a funny prank ended his career for good. Number 27. Rocco Piazza. Family Channel star Rocco Piazza went viral for crazy stunts, but one of them got his family arrested. In a video, Rocco and his nanny were buried in thousands of Orbeez in the back of a pickup truck. Then his mom drove the truck onto a public road, with cars speeding by as Rocco bounced around unsecured. Police called it child endangerment and arrested the adults behind the channel. They were also charged for cleanup costs after dumping more Orbeez on a street in another video. Turns out, family vlogs can land you in handcuffs too. And there you have it. Some of the wildest, dumbest, and darkest times YouTubers got arrested. From fake robberies to dangerous stunts, these stories prove that clout chasing can come with real consequences. Views, subs, and fame might feel worth it in the moment until the handcuffs click. Pretty diabolical, right?